Hey guys, Bipolar Barbie here. Now, today I wanted to talk about, the trauma of not being loved in the way that you want to be loved. And more importantly, the trauma of trying to communicate that to someone that you care about, that says that they love you, and their unwillingness to, for whatever reason, accommodate your needs and work on the fact that you don't feel loved, which automatically, I guess, then translates to that you don't love me and that you don't think that I am worthy of being loved, that I am respected, that I am worthy of your time, of your consideration. And I think this is particularly important as a borderline who kind of have this sensitivity to invalidation, to, not being recognized, to feeling unloved, and the heavy weight they put on that as a measure of their own self-worth, which heavily affects their self-esteem and their sense of self. And I have definitely experienced this a lot in my lifetime. And what I know about the love languages now really opens my eyes in that regard. I have very much been trying to communicate to my family and ex-boyfriends the fact that I don't feel loved. And everybody's entitled to say that they don't feel loved. I mean, that's a need that we all have, and particularly people who are meant to love you, like family and like partners. If you're feeling unloved, it's a serious, serious issue. Most people take it as an accusation, like you don't love someone. Which I think is the misconception that a lot of people really automatically jump to. And I think that's where it becomes a problem, because then it's not about making someone feel loved. It just becomes an argument of you love me, you don't love me, rather than fixing the issue and the reasons as to why someone doesn't feel loved. I mean, there are many reasons that someone might not feel loved, and that's based on your personal experiences. That is based on, the way you recognize love, the way that you want to receive love. And that's why this argument really comes in, where it's like, you don't love me, and then the accusation, the person will become really defensive, and it will be about them trying to prove the ways that they I guess love someone, and then someone might be on the receiving end going, well, that doesn't matter to me. And then that it just becomes this really, really shitty cycle. And I think this is the reason that a lot of relationships don't work out. And it's a very sort of triggering form of trauma for a lot of people who have had issues with their ideas of love, who have had really traumatic either childhoods or experiences with love and abuse, whether it be psychological, sexual, or physical, where people have really been hurt by people that they trusted, by people that they loved who thought that loved them as well. And that in itself does create this precedent of trauma, this mindset that everyone is just going to hurt me, especially when everyone who you have had your faith in has ended up hurting you in some way. And that's where compounding kind of trauma comes into it, because it's very much like a never-ending cycle, I think. And that's tough. That's really, really hard to live with. And I don't know. That's a traumatic experience for me. It's really, really hard to deal with that. And I think because I understand it now, it's not that it takes away the significance of it. It's not that it takes away the trauma of it. I mean, I have constantly lived with overwhelming feelings of inadequacy, and extremely low self-worth because of this particular issue. And it's not necessarily the fact that I feel unloved. It's more the fact that when I try and communicate that to someone, they either tell me that I'm not worthy of being loved, that I don't deserve to be loved, or they won't come from a place of understanding. They won't try and problem solve that. And I'm a problem solver. And when I say I don't feel loved, I really want to come to a resolution. I'm trying to communicate to that person that I have needs that are not being met. And I really want someone to recognize the significance of my feelings. And that's where borderline trauma really comes in, because that's a huge thing. Like, love is a really big issue for them, or like a topic. It's a really big theme that they place a lot of importance on. And that invalidation of their feelings, of one of the most intense feelings that they will have when it comes to love, and their kind of idea, their extreme view of unconditional love. And when someone is not listening to you, when someone is unwilling to communicate with you, when someone is basically telling you that the fact that you don't feel that you feel unloved is not significant, that they refuse to recognize it because they think they are showing you adequate amounts of love. And I think that really does just come down to these love languages. If someone shows love by doing things for you, but all you want to do is spend time with them, then that miscommunication is where, this trauma does come from. And when people don't understand this, when people don't recognize it, it can be very tough to live with. It can be really, really hard. And that is traumatic for anyone. And the more times you've gone through this, the harder it is. And that's, people's lack of understanding, I think, is really where most forms of psychological trauma really, really come from. And trust me, they will mess you up for life. They will definitely mess you up in intense ways that you could not even imagine what that feels like, to be hurt in such an intense way, to be, in a sense, betrayed by the people that you love, to be disrespected. It's sort of, you're basically crossing off a lot of needs that they have. It's not just their need to be loved, it's their need to be heard, their need to be understood, their need for connection. And when a lot of them are not being met, particularly in a relationship that is meant to, meet them like a partner, then that is a really hard knock. That is something that will, be like a seed planted in your mind and your body, and it will grow into a vicious vine that will wrap around every cell in your body. Nowhere will be safe. It's like a black cancerous disease that one needs to be eradicated. You need to chop that vine down before it spreads, ideally. But chopping that vine down, that trauma seed that was planted, is very, very hard when you're constantly having fuel added to that fire. So that's my thoughts. That's my Trauma Tuesday input for my new playlist. And let me know your thoughts. Let me know your experiences with feeling unloved. Let me know the ways in which that has traumatized you in some way. And how have people just, completely not understood your need for that? How have they perpetuated that cycle of trauma? I'd love to know your thoughts. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't, for lots of more amazing content. Check out my Instagram if you haven't as well, the _bipolar _Barbie. Attitude Apparel is launching as well, my clothing line. And basically it's going to be launching at midnight on the 7th of this month, February. And that's Sydney, Australia time. And then basically for the next couple of months, there is going to be more and more content, like products added. So there's going to be shoes added. There's going to be like jewelry and accessories. There's going to be the men's line. And then, my aim is to raise some form of capital so that I can reinvest it, because I'm starting from a point of no money, which is really hard. But then there will be a lot of customization options. So that's really exciting. I'm hoping like your t-shirts, you know how I like to, slit the backs, you know how I like to cut them, you know how I like to rip them. So there's that aspect where you will be able to get the slogan t-shirts in singlet forms, in crop top forms, in so many different ways. Then you will also have the customized products, the grunge alternative look, shorts, jeans, and there's going to be a whole exclusive line there that is my style, that has been, I guess, designed by me and altered by me, sewn by me. I'm really excited for that. And then I think I'm also going to create limited edition products, which are going to be more of like a vintage product line, where I'm going to do some customization to it, or just make a unique product, and it will be one of a kind. Guys, it will be like the only one in the world designed by me. So let me know your thoughts on that as well, because I'm super excited about that and where I think it's going to go. And I want you guys to be pumped too, because it's going to be so awesome. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching.